Ethical conduct is at the heart of the way we work at TIS. As an operating company of the CIMIC Group, we uphold our group code of conduct and our shared group principles of integrity, accountability, innovation, and delivery, all underpinned by safety. Key to this is our commitment to diversity and inclusion, and providing equal employment opportunities for everyone who works at TIS. This means treating everyone fairly and equally at all times. Our commitment is outlined in our CIMIC Group anti-bullying, harassment and discrimination policy, our workplace behaviour policy, and our workplace conduct guideline. These are all governed by legislation.
So, what exactly is equal employment opportunity?
Equal employment opportunity, or EEO, means all people, regardless of their personal attributes, beliefs or circumstances, have the right to fair consideration for a job or job-related activities. EEO ensures all employees are treated fairly and equally, and we actively minimise or eliminate all forms of unlawful discrimination, harassment and bullying in the workplace. Let's take a closer look at each of these. Discrimination is when an individual or group is treated less favourably because of an attribute or presumed characteristic. These can include gender, race, sexual orientation, age, religious beliefs, carer or family responsibilities, and impairments or disabilities. It also includes freedom of association, where all employees are free to choose whether they join an affiliation, such as a union. If any employee is treated less favourably because they are or are not a member of an affiliation, this would be discrimination.
So, when can discrimination occur?
Discrimination in the workplace can occur at any stage of employment, from recruitment to daily workplace activities to when someone leaves the business.
I've heard that discrimination can be direct or indirect. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Direct discrimination is where a person is treated less favourably because of their individual characteristics or status, compared with others without that characteristic or status, in the same or similar circumstances. For example, informing an applicant they are too old for a role, even though they have the required skills, qualifications and experience.
And indirect discrimination?
Indirect discrimination is where a generally applied work requirement or condition is unable to be met by a person or group of people due to their individual characteristics or attributes, but people without that characteristic or status would be able to comply. And the requirement or condition is not reasonable in all the circumstances. An example of indirect disability discrimination is if the only way to enter a public building is by a set of stairs, because people who use wheelchairs would be unable to enter the building.
Okay, what are some examples of non-discriminatory behaviour?
It's not discrimination if an action relates to things like compliance with genuine occupational requirements, legislation, or a court order. A person's ability to perform the inherent requirements of their position. Protecting public health. Measures designed to achieve equality, like offering female-only apprenticeships.
Well, that makes sense. What about bullying?
Bullying occurs when an individual or group repeatedly behaves unreasonably towards another individual or group of people at work, and the behaviour creates a risk to health and safety. This can involve aggressive behaviour, comments that make someone feel humiliated, embarrassed or uncomfortable, spreading malicious rumours, teasing, practical jokes or initiation ceremonies, excluding or isolating employees from work-related events, intentionally setting tasks that are unreasonably below or beyond someone's skill level, displaying offensive material in the workplace, or pressure to behave inappropriately. Behaviour is still considered workplace bullying if it continues outside work hours or away from the workplace, like workplace events or even online.
Online? Do you mean via social media?
Yes, but also emails, texts, photos, videos, or anything involving mobiles, the internet, or other sharing platforms.
Okay, so what isn't classed as bullying?
Bullying does not include legitimate and reasonable management actions like performance management, disciplinary action for misconduct, implementing workplace policies and procedures, reasonable directions about work tasks and attendance, maintaining reasonable goals and standards at work, making justifiable decisions regarding recruitment, selection, and other development, and overseeing injury and illness in line with work health and safety, injury management, and workers' compensation legislation and policies.
What about harassment?
Unlawful workplace harassment is generally any type of behaviour that the other person does not want, which offends, insults, humiliates, or intimidates them, and based on their race, gender, sexual preference, marital status, age, religion, colour, national extraction, social origin, political opinion, disability, family or carer's responsibilities, or pregnancy. And a reasonable person having regard to the circumstances would have anticipated the possibility that the behaviour might offend, insult, humiliate, or intimidate the harassed person. Harassment can be a one-off incident and does not have to be repeated behaviour like bullying.
Can you provide an example?
Harassment could be telling an insulting joke about a particular racial group, spreading malicious rumours, or making fun of someone's personal circumstances or appearance. It's not harassment in situations like a supervisor or manager making a legitimate comment or giving advice, or assigning tasks, or investigating unapproved or unsubstantiated absenteeism as part of their normal responsibilities.
Thanks. Does sexual harassment fall into this category too?
Sexual harassment absolutely falls into this category. It's considered unwelcome conduct of a sexual nature that makes a person feel offended, humiliated, or intimidated, or would make a reasonable person feel that way. Examples include sending sexually explicit emails, displaying or discussing offensive or pornographic material, making suggestive comments, or asking intrusive questions about someone's personal life.
I've heard the terms victimisation and vilification before. Where do they fit in?
Victimisation is when an individual is threatened with or subjected to intimidation. This can sometimes be linked to a complaint or grievance that has been or may be made. Vilification is any act that occurs publicly which could incite, encourage, or urge others to physically harm, hate, have serious contempt for, or severely ridicule a person or a group of people because they are or are thought to be members of a particular group.
Okay, thanks.
At TEAS, we take EEO very seriously. If you feel you've been subjected to or witnessed behaviour that breaches our EEO policies, you can attempt to resolve the grievance directly or raise the issue with your manager or human resources representative. If the complaint is about your manager, you can raise it with their manager or your human resources representative. Your manager or HR will determine the next steps. This may include a formal investigation. The outcome of a complaint will depend on the nature of the grievance and the findings of the investigation. If a policy or guideline has been breached, this could be anything from an apology through to termination of employment. If the complaint itself is found to be vexatious, frivolous, or malicious, action may be taken against the party who made the allegations.
That all seems fair. So that's EEO.
That's it. You should now understand what equal employment opportunity is and why upholding EEO standards plays such an important role in ensuring safe, supportive, and positive workplaces at TEAS. If you would like a copy of any of the EEO policies or guidelines, you can access them via the TEAS governance system, your manager or HR. If you are unclear about anything we have gone through today, please speak with your manager or HR representative. Equal employment opportunity workplaces are all of our responsibility.